Hey everyone, and welcome to today's tutorial. Today we are going to be working with the collection called Garden District, the Simple Vintage Garden District from Simple Stories. So we have our 12 by 12 collection kit, the banner cardstock stickers, the chipboard stickers, and the floral bits. And we are also adding on the coordinating cardstock. So there is 6 pieces of cardstock in the package, and there's 2 of each different color, and they are double-sided with a different color on the back side. We are going to need all of our sheets of cardstock, so all 6 sheets, and there are 12 pattern papers along with a sticker sheet in the collection kit. And we are going to need 11 out of the 12 pattern papers because we are making 6 pages today. We're going to be using cutting guide B, and there's a lot of really great papers to work with. And what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and eliminate the page that we have to eliminate out of the 12 is actually going to be the paper that we want to use as like our journaling cards. So here I'm just kind of spreading all the pages out, and the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to eliminate, or I'm going to take out all of our journaling card papers. I believe there's 4 of them. So there's 4x4, 4x6, 3x4, and 2x2 squares. And I'm going to go ahead and pick the one that I think we're going to want to cut up and use, and then we have to throw the rest of them back into the pile of pages that we need to use because we need 11 out of the 12 pages. So first off here, I'm kind of looking at all the blank areas that we could potentially use for journaling, and I'm not really 100% sure that that's really what I want to do with these, but that's kind of what I'm going to be going with. The 4x6 journaling cards are just too big to fit on the pages for what I want, so I'm going to eliminate that one. And then when I look at my 3x4 or 4x4 journaling cards that I have left, there is 2 blank areas on the 4x4 journaling card, so I'm probably going to go ahead and try and save that one and cut it up. And I do like some of the quotes and if to use on my pages as well. So when I put the pages back into the mix here to select from, I do flip them over because we are going to need to use the back side of them, obviously. And here I'm just kind of going through every paper and picking the side that I want to use the most. So we're going to need 6 background papers along with 5 accent papers. So this cutting guide, it can be a little bit tricky for picking your accent papers just because there's so many. And in cutting guide B, I actually did print out a page called choosing accent papers. So it's kind of like my thought process when I'm going through and picking my pages, and how I do a process of elimination to pick my accent paper. So here I'm doing step 1, which is picking my accent paper M and O. I really love this bird paper. I love that it has almost like this green tinge to it, and it's one of my favorite papers. So I went ahead and picked that, and I really liked this green paper that would be that would work really nicely with it, and it contrasts it pretty well. So those would be my accent paper M and O. And now I need to pick like my step 2 accent paper, which is one that stands out from the rest, and I always like to pick a striped paper or a plaid kind of a paper, so I went ahead with that pink buffalo plaid kind of paper. And now I need to pick my final 2 accent papers. So I really like this almost black and white with a tinge of pink paper here, and I also like that peachy colored one just because it wasn't directional, so it made it easier to work with. So now that I went ahead and picked those accent papers, all of the pages I have left are going to be used for background papers. Now I'm not really worried about the order of these pages because I can swap them on different pages once I have all my pages cut. We have cutting diagrams in my tutorial videos, and I just kind of want to let you know how to read them. So there's the number in top in inches, and that's going to be the size that we're going to cut that cut piece into. And there's a number below it in a circle. So a lot of the times we're making 4 pages or 6 pages when we're using these cutting diagrams, and all these cut pieces can sort of get very disorganized. So that number inside of the circle there represents a pile that you're going to put that cut piece into. So for a 4-page tutorial, we're going to make 4 piles, and for a 6-page tutorial, we're going to make 6 piles. So the numbers are going to be either 1 through 4 or 1 through 6. So page 1 is going to have all the cut pieces that have a circle with the number 1 inside, and so on for the 4 or 6 pages. So now we're going to go ahead and take all pieces of our cardstock, and we are going to cut 1 inch in, 1 inch from the top, and 1 inch from the bottom. And we're going to make a straight line on all 4 sides of each of these pieces of cardstock. What we're basically doing is cutting a 10 by 10 inch square out of the center of this piece of cardstock. The border is going to be put into our pile, and the center, the 10 by 10 inch center, is going to be put to the side, and we're going to be cutting it with another cutting diagram as soon as we're done cutting out all of these squares. Okay, so for this next paper, cutting out my 10 by 10 inch cardstock, for layout number 5, instead of cutting 2 pieces at 2.25 by 3.5, I just decided to leave that piece solid to do a 3 by 4 inch photo area instead. Now we're going to go ahead and cut the backgrounds for our pages. So we are going to be cutting the barcode strip off along with 1/2 inch, and then 1/2 inch on the other side. So we're going to be making an 11.5 inch by 11.5 inch square for all of our background papers. Okay, so for my next paper here, for pieces that go into layout number 4, my 4.5 by 6.5 inch papers, those are actually gonna be side by side on layout number 4, and I just chose to keep it as a solid piece instead of cutting those two papers. So this is definitely something you can do, or you can choose to cut it. I just chose not to cut it this time. This has probably been one of the easiest collections I've had in such a long time for embellishments. Having that banner sticker sheet really makes things fast and makes layering seem so easy. I'm here for this page, I'm just literally taking the whole thing, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to directly adhere it to the page just because it's such a large element to have popped up. And what I'm going to do is I am going to actually just put pop-ups around the frame of this opening, just so that it sort of has like a shadow effect for the center of that little framed area. But really, this collection is just so easy to work with. I feel like flowers don't have any hard edges or anything like that, so it's so easy to layer with them, and it's so easy to, if you're ever just feel like a cluster looks off, you can kind of just, rotate the flowers a little bit, or you can add more flowers, and it just seems to always work out. So basically what I've done is I've used the flowers that are on the sticker sheet and on the chipboard, and I've sort of used them like I would enamel dots. I just kind of put them, I surround a cluster area with those in a few places that just need a little bit of fill, and then I just layer everything else sort of with each other, and I kind of just look at the page and decide, does something look better higher or lower than another element, and I kind of just do what I normally do when I build pages, and I just kind of look at how the layout's coming together. And with this, it's so flexible. There's a lot of butterflies and there's a lot of flower elements to work with, so I feel like you really can't go wrong just building up a page from the foundation that you get with the cutting guide itself, and using the hearts as accents as well. And the only techniques I really use here is just layering and using foam squares to pop things up, or just to create some different depth in my clusters. Just popping up around the frame area, and I'm going to adhere the rest directly to the page. And we had a 10 by 10 inch square turquoise piece of cardstock, so I went ahead and cut it down to use as a base behind this frame. So here I knew that I wanted to start off with like those green leaves, but I wanted one going up against that 4x6 photo and then one going down to that journaling card area. And I knew that, so I just didn't want them to look too symmetrical on the page. And then what I did is I made sure to put 3 of those peach colored butterflies, and I kind of wanted to stagger them just slightly so that they kind of made like a triangle shape. And I almost kind of screwed up with it because there is that green colored butterfly, which gives like a 4th butterfly. But there is a few more butterflies too at the bottom of that journaling card. And I feel like that green butterfly is a different color. So, I mean, the triangle doesn't seem to necessarily be screwed up with the 3 peach colored butterflies. And I still think it complements the layout and it still works out great. And what I loved about adding in this word that says awesome is that it brought in like that green color from the background paper that we added to the frame, and then it sort of tied in that color with the background as well. Okay, and then what I went ahead and did is I just took, sorry it's so shaky, the cat was like walking along where my camera is and stuff, and he was kind of being a little stinker, so he just jumped onto my table from above. So on our next layout here, it's always so what I did there is, instead of doing those 2 photo areas like I had mentioned when we were cutting up our papers, I just decided to not cut that sheet of pink cardstock in half, and I kept it the way it was and put a 3x4 photo area there instead. Okay, so we're going to do the same thing with this frame, except I'm going to use the back side of that turquoise paper and use like the side that's more like a whitish kind of cream color. And I'm just going to use that frame to add to that cluster area that I wanted to develop above those photos and beside that 3x4 photo area. Okay, and then again, I wanted to create like a triangle effect with the yellow butterflies, so I tried to incorporate a few of those. And then I'm gonna have to fill in, you could definitely use like that pink framed area as like a text area if you wanted to. And I just decided to go ahead and pop up a word in it that says today. And then I went ahead and put a chipboard sticker underneath that says live, love, laugh. So for our final layout here, I kind of want to incorporate a bird into this one just because, you know, we have that background paper that has the birds on it, and I really love it. And I wanted to pull some more of those kind of colors back into the layout. So we've got some florals as well. And at the bottom here, I went ahead and popped up this cluster strip that says so lovely with a heart on it. And I felt like we needed a little bit more at the bottom, so I decided to use this chipboard sticker stripping that has some floral on it, and then I just layered a few more flowers behind it and on top of it as well, and I feel like it kind of filled up that area along the bottom really nicely. And then we incorporated that chipboard sticker bird at the top of the 4x6 photo. Okay, and then to finish this cluster off, I felt like we just needed to surround it now with some accents, so we pulled in some butterflies. Again, create a sort of a triangle effect with the butterflies. So we got one at the top, one on the left side of that 4x6 photo area, and then we'll incorporate another butterfly on the right hand side of this 4x6 photo right there, and then just use some of these hearts to kind of fill in around that those cluster areas. So I really hope you guys enjoyed this week's tutorial. It was a really, really great collection to work with. It was so fast and so easy, which is exactly what I needed this week. And we still ended up with some really beautiful pages. So I hope you guys are doing well and you guys are staying healthy. And we will see you next Friday with another tutorial video. Thank you guys so much for watching and have a great weekend.